Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and I just arrived at the Tulsa Farm Show. Got an announcer going behind me, so it might be a little bit loud. But I think I'm going to make the rounds, walk the whole show, and then go back through and highlight all my favorite things I see. So, should be a fun day. I love coming to farm shows. This is a product I'm really fond of. Been wanting to get a close-up look at them, and looks like I'm going to get to do that today. All right, so I'm standing inside of a grain gazebo. This is a product I heard about a while ago. I think they are awesome. And here they are. And I found not just a salesman, but the owner of the company can tell us a little bit about them. Now, this thing is just gonna blow away in the wind, isn't it?
No, sir. No, sir. Hey, so we anchor grain gazebos down to a 1 foot, we put a 1 foot footer, 4-inch slab, full concrete pad on every grain gazebo that we build. And when we anchor them down, they've got 130 mile an hour wind rating. So this thing's not gonna go anywhere.
And of course, I'm just joking around because I've been looking at it, and these things are really well built. But you guys are out of Tulsa?
Yes, sir.
And you make these all the way from like small 6-9 foot up to like
45 foot, all the way to 45 foot. And so we have the ability to manufacture these from 6 foot to 45 foot. The most popular size is an 18 footer. 18 foot is what we have displayed here at the Tulsa Farm Show. And I'll tell you what, everybody loves it. They come in here and they can't.
I've waited an hour to talk to him because people are all over it, love this product. My neighbor's got an old grain bin. Why wouldn't I just stick that up? Why would I need to get this from you?
You know, the old grain bin, the patina looks amazing on the old grain bins, but the challenge with the grain bin is grain bins don't have legs, and so you're always trying to, when you take an old bin, number one, you've got to have some type of a leg structure to hold it up, and so they'll use wood rots over time. You've got to maintain it. Where we use a 10 gauge galvanized steel leg that will be a lifetime product.
So you think this thing's gonna last 5 years or so? Or?
Oh, this thing will last
lifetime.
This
yeah,
is lifetime type.
I just put up a Quonset hut, and it's got that wind rating too. And I think this looks really well built. He was also telling us that you can actually have a live fire in here if you set the ceiling up right. You put a turbine up there.
We put a turbine vent. So we put a turbine vent up top so that the bin will vent, and grain bins are vented anyway. They're already vented, but when you put a turbine vent up top, it'll draw the smoke and the air out.
So you see they've got furniture around the outside. There's enough height on this top section that you can put a 65-inch TV in here. Really make this an outdoor entertaining spot. And depending on size, you're going to spend somewhere between like $5,000 and $10,000 on one of these.
Yeah, you know,
because you're going to have to, depending on if you set it up yourself or if you pay the company to set it up.
Yeah, with concrete, depends on the size. You're going to be $5,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
You know, and you can go up from there. I mean, we've done full outdoor kitchens in these with, you know, black stones and pellet grills and smokers, and you know, it's amazing what you can do with this type of product.
So I'd say this is one of my favorite things here. It's functional, it's going to last a long time, it's pretty affordable, and from the aesthetics, you know, I'm a rural property. I like the idea of the grain bin. Look.
Well, thank you.
So very cool, and I appreciate you taking the time to tell us about it.
Absolutely, and YouTube, thanks for listening.
Yep. And website is graingazebo.com.
Graingazebo.com.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I've started my search to compare some mower brands because I'm just not thrilled with my Deere stand-on mowers, and I'd like to make a change there. And there's a lot of good mower brands out there, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd heard that the guy who started Bad Boy Mowers exited the company and started Spartan. I don't know if that's true or not, but man, that guy, if that's true, he has marketing down. It's definitely a clean look on him. At one point, I think it was only Deere that was selling the wheels. Now a lot of manufacturers have those. So the answer is it's mostly commercial mowers, but I marvel at how, I mean, that's a $15,000 mower. you just cut grass with it, right? I mean, I show and look at a lot of expensive stuff, but it's a little bit out of control, honestly. Because, I mean, what do you do with it? You just mow grass.
Yeah, it's right in the name on it.
Now this Kubota right here, on the other hand, for $39,000, that's a lot of money too, but man, you can do a lot with the 75 horsepower skid loader. A lot of work you can do for yourself, or if you're wanting to start a business, I think that machine's gonna make you a lot more money than the lawnmower. Same thing with that Mini X. That seems like a pretty good price on that. Let's see what size it is. It looks like a 3.5 ton. No, that's a little smaller. I'm not seeing the number on it, but that's smaller than the ones I've rented. Obviously, a big reason that this is only $39,000 is it's more of a base model with, you know, an open cab and wheels instead of tracks. But that's less than half of what I paid for the same size machine. Again, all these Kubota prices look really good, and it is because these are more your economy tractors, but that's a big machine for $39,000, but it's a shuttle shift. So I just talked to the salesman a little bit, and I noticed immediately that you were getting a lot more tractor over here than over here. And a big part of that, for the price being similar, is that this has a cab and a hydrostat. That's open station and shuttle shift, but that's also a two-wheel drive tractor. But it's kind of like K&H tractors, just got a Deere 5075. And, you know, you get a lot of tractor for your money if you go with a simple machine like this. But this one is more appealing to most of us, I think. I tell you what, seeing these fully restored really makes me want to put some time into the 49.
Spent 50 years in Canada. I tried to take I ended about oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Thank you for your time.
The Coyotes seem to be really popular. I've never got to operate a Coyote tractor. But this one is a 4030, and it's got this Dan User stump auger on it. And I've really been looking at these Dan User augers. You can put a regular 3-point auger bit on it, but you can also put this stump grinder on it. That makes it versatile that it can do 2 different jobs with this one head. And for digging post holes with a tractor, it's more expensive to do it off the loader, but if your machine can handle it and you've got the hydraulic capability for it, you've got a lot more control and you can reverse your auger head. So really like the idea of one of these front-mounted augers, but I haven't got to try one. I love this setup right here, and I think I'm the ideal customer for it. This is actually a 26 horsepower hydrostat tractor that can bale its own hay because of these mini round balers. Now, a lot of people don't love the mini round balers. A $7,000 compact tractor you already have. For a small property owner, you could go to an auction, pick up your rake and your cutter, fairly inexpensive, and under $10,000. You can actually buy new versions that are made to match this. Or under $10,000, you can be baling your own hay on your property. And to me, that's really appealing as something I'd actually like to do, because it's not a big enough property to be worth it to have someone else come in and do it. I get almost nothing for it. But if I could do all my own over time, I think this would pay for itself. And the counter argument is, would you be better off buying an old square baler and learning how to truly maintenance it properly and running square bales? Probably about the same price you could get into a used square baler. It really is amazing how big of a batwing you can run on a small tractor. Tim from Tractor Time with Tim has run a 12-foot batwing on the same size tractor I've got. It's pretty incredible, really. I like these little miniature backhoes because if they have a mechanical problem or they run out of fuel or something, you can just pick them up and put them in your truck bed and take it to get it serviced. Man, that thing's tiny. Almost looks like a toy, but I bet its capabilities are similar to a tractor backhoe. I did a full-length video running some of these BCS two-wheel tractors. Very cool machines, very versatile, very inexpensive in the equipment world. And talk about a small machine you can bale hay with. You can bale hay with one of these tiny little walk-behind two-wheel tractors. Pretty cool stuff. You should check out that video. To echo what a lot of you guys tell me, if I hadn't spent so much money on a truck, I could afford to put a nice bed like this on it. I wasn't familiar with Butler Beds, but apparently it's the same company that makes the Do Easy products. So, pretty nice looking truck bed. Is there anything more attractive than a big tractor tire that's all slicked out?
It's frightful.
So after looking at these Skag mowers, I stopped the salesman. He's actually like a regional rep, and asking why would someone choose Skag mowers. So I said what I really think about it is that there's a lot of really high quality mower manufacturers. It's kind of hard to decide which one to go with. And he pointed out some things with their design and features, but he really highlighted something that I'm a big fan of, that this is a family owned company. Mowers are made in the US, and that just something about that's always going to appeal to me. So also like the leather look on the seats, even though that's not a reason to pick a mower. And beyond all that, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for professional mowing guys, and Skag has a good reputation in that community. You guys know I do a lot of brush cutting, and I just got the flail mower. But this is Rhino Ag. And Rhino Ag, to me, really stands out. I mean, you can look at a brush cutter and tell that there is an economy brush cutter and there is premium brush cutters. And brands like Woods, Brush Hog, and Rhino Ag to me stand out as making a really heavy built product that's like professional grade. Even if it's on a smaller machine like I run, there's a smaller single spindle over here. Here's the Grasshopper booth. Big fan of Grasshopper. Love the versatility, love the front decks. They've been doing this for a long time. And those front decks that lift up, and I mean, it's almost, this to me is almost a competitor for a Ventrac. And I've done 2 other videos at farm shows where I got a salesman to step aside and tell me a little bit about the Grasshoppers. So I'm not going to do that today, but I always like to stop and look at them. Hey, that looks really familiar. I think I might have that exact one.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
Rock.
They just let anybody in here.
I know, they absolutely do. They absolutely.
So I just spent about a half an hour talking to the dealer for Massey Ferguson. He's actually a dealer for LS and Massey Ferguson and Sutton Tractor and Equipment. And great guy, very generous with his time, and told me a few things I didn't know. Number one is that Massey Ferguson has a line of their 2600 series tractors that are over 25 horsepower but do not have a regen. And kind of my understanding was that any tractor over 25 horsepower has to have a regen, but that's not what it is. Those tractors have to meet an emission standards. And Massey has found a way to meet emission standards without a regen. It's something from, it's an older technology, but it's a common rail diesel. I don't even understand what that means. He's explaining it to me. But that means that they have multiple tractors over 25 horsepower without regen. That's a legit reason to look at Massey in my mind, because a lot of people buy large frame 25 horse tractors to avoid the regen when you could get something with a higher horsepower, like 35 and 45 horsepower without a regen. The pricing's pretty good. He also sells LS and was telling me some of the price differences between Massey and LS, and it's dramatic, honestly. Those LS tractors, the pricing is so good, you just can't ignore at least giving them a look. Definitely a selling point right there.
Remember, not weird, not strange, uncommon.
You're the original telescoping flagpole,
The original. Hey, I'm Kenny.
Kenny?
Yeah, business has been up and down today, so.
Yeah. So, how much is one of these flagpoles?
My best seller, $540.
Yeah. How tall is that?
That's 25 foot. And right now it's invisible because these nasty people, already on day one, they stuffed cash in my pockets and took all my 25-foot flagpoles in black and bronze, which are my best sellers. So I'm going to go out to my truck in a minute and get a silver one, which very few people buy because silver is for normal people. And I haven't met any yet, so.
Right, we're all uncommon around here.
That's right, hey.
So how hard is that for the average person to install?
Very easy. Step one is the most important step in installation. You find a good-looking lady that likes to dig in the dirt, all right? Boom, and you got it made.
Yeah.
And you dig a hole 16 inches wide and so deep, 28 inches for the 20-foot flagpole, 32 inches for the 25-footer, 6 or 8 bags of cement, so it's easy.
And this collapses down to, what's that, 4 foot, 7 foot?
Yeah, it'll be about
On
5 foot
25 foot.
off the ground, yeah.
And you can drop it down just by releasing these pins to change if you need to replace the flag or something.
Yep, to replace your flag, just drop 3 pins. I'm going to raise it up here so you can see reality. So this is 20 foot. You got a stainless steel pin that locks in your section there.
Oh, that's not super heavy. You're able to
Oh,
lift.
Yeah, See, the heaviest section is the bottom one
like
there.
a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, woo, baby. I have 2 grandkids, 40 and 60 pounds, and guess where they both want to be at the same time? Right here. So I get to work out at home. So you got a 20-foot flagpole, stainless steel pins. To bring it down to change your flags, you simply push 3 pins. There's rubber pads between the sections, so if it slips out of your hands, no problem. The best part of the deal are the swivels. They're not plastic, they're aluminum. They got a DuPont nylon bushing there, so they swivel real easy. And the engineering we did on this center swivel is awesome. Solves a big problem, and that is when you fly 2 flags, the wind kicks up. They often fly on opposite sides, thus one's wrapped. That's annoying. Now, boom, here we go. Because they swivel separately, they always end up correct, which is nice. Push 1 more pin, and down she comes. So there it is. Right in your hands. I'm standing at ground level, so this is real life. They take 90-mile-an-hour winds. They're almost American-made. They're made in Minnesota, so we're close.
So you're sinking that pole in the ground. Is there any like flat plate or anything, or it's just the pole goes in the ground into the concrete?
PVC pipe is cemented in the ground, so it's just like you see in my box.
You got the eagle that can set on the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That just screws in the top.
Screws in the top. We got a solar light. You know what accessories are, right? Extra stuff for more money.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. Solar light's got a bearing in it, so it follows your flags, which is nice because it's got a lot of illumination power. Boom. 2 lithium batteries put out 1,000 lumens all night instead of cheap batteries. And best of all, instead of plastic photocell, it's tempered glass. So it's done right. Easy. No more ropes, no noise, no wrapped flags, no mark the rope leaves.
Now, if somebody wants to buy one of these, the only way to get it is to drive to Tulsa.
Drive to Tulsa, stuff cash in my pockets, or if you really talk nice, I will take your credit card too.
They have is there a website they can go to?
There is a website.
Uncommon USA. These are really nice telescoping flagpoles. So one of my favorite things to do at these shows is go around and come up to a salesman or a representative and say, with all the manufacturers out there, why would we buy your brand? And Brad here from Yanmar gave a great answer to that. So I've asked him to jump on and tell us, why would someone, out of all the manufacturers available, why would they buy a Yanmar tractor?
So Yanmar is the only one on the market that actually builds the entire tractor. The engine's Yanmar, the front axle's Yanmar, transmission's Yanmar. And because of that, we can put a 10-year warranty on all 3 of those components. And if you look at a lot of other manufacturers, they'll have Yanmar products of some sort in it, whether it's the engine, whether it's a subsidiary company that we have that they use their components in. But ours is specifically designed to work together.
And you were just mentioning a transmission brand that's actually made by Yanmar. Is that
Tough
correct?
Torque.
Tough
Yep.
Torque. And so I thought that was a phenomenal answer. I mean, isn't that exactly what you would want? Is the company selling the tractor to make as many of the components as possible? So this is a pretty sweet tractor, 347. So it's a 47 horsepower hydrostat cab tractor. Looks really nice. So.
And this one, it is technically a hydrostat, but the transmission we have in here, we refer to it as an IHMT, or Intelligent Hydromechanical Transmission. So there's a lot more functionality on this tractor to where you can actually go in and you can set your max speed or your max horsepower, and you can actually switch in between those modes depending what gear you're in. So if you're cutting 1 row and you need to be going slow at a higher RPM, and you come to the end of the row, you need to turn around, you can quickly bump your speed up, turn it around, set back down, hit your button again, it'll change your settings back to where it was. It's almost kind of like a cruise control, basically. But what you can do is you can actually run the PTO in the rear at 540 when the engine's high.
I have not heard of that, at least not on a compact.
Yeah, so you can, and all our YT3 series tractors are set up with that style transmission. But what that does is that lets you fine tune the tractor to where you get better fuel efficiency out of it, and you can actually get it in that torque curve so that you're running at peak performance, at peak fuel efficiency. and also keeps you from running into regen problems from not loading your tractor properly and getting hot to be able to do any of the regen necessary.
Well, that's a great step there, really wide. All right. So you said infinite variability, but it's a 3 range.
3 ranges, but as far as being able to go in, control your speed, and adjust what you need, this really drives just like a car. So if you want to set it up to where you just hit that silver pedal over there, it'll start out at idle. As soon as you start pushing it, it's going to slowly pick up and start taking off, and it's also going to increase your engine RPM. You can change that to where your engine RPM can be at max speed, but still it won't go anywhere until you hit that pedal, and then it'll slowly start to pick up. So that's kind of where, you know, everyone thinks it's a hydrostat, even though the concept of a hydrostat's there. You can do so much more with this style transmission. So what's weird, everyone thinks this is a clutch pedal.
Yeah, that's what I got confused. That looks like a clutch.
It is not a clutch pedal. It acts as a clutch, but basically what it is it's a hydraulic dump. So if you're traveling and you need to stop, you can hit that pedal. It's going to dump your oil and basically just stop the tractor. So it acts similar to a clutch, but that's not what it is. You actually should never have to split this tractor to work on it. If anything ever happens with the hydraulic transmission components or anything like that, cover plate in the back unbolts, everything comes out the back of the tractor. So that increases serviceability and reduces cost. If for some reason you do work it over the 10-year warranty, that reduces how much you're going to have to spend in the shop for any kind of repairs.
All right, and then so you got is this split brakes here?
Split brakes, yes sir.
All right. Man, it's a nice looking tractor.
And then,
are these your rear remotes?
yes sir. And then the other knobs you've got there, of course the yellow one's your PTO on and off. The other ones are how you can set and adjust the tractor to how you want it to go. So that gray switch, you can switch in between setting engine RPM or travel speed. So you'll flip that over and then dial the knob. The smaller knob above it, where it's got the rabbit and turtle for motion,
Yep.
you can actually adjust when you flip this lever from forward to reverse. You can adjust how fast the reaction time is. So if you're in loose ground or doing something in your front yard, you don't want to tear the grass up, you can switch that over to turtle, and it'll automatically slow the tractor down, change the direction, and then pick back up. So if you want it faster, if you're doing a lot of loader work, then you can turn that up to where you're going in the pile and quickly reverse direction, and it's already going. And that's where too, on the loader joystick over there.
Yeah, it has more buttons than I'm used to.
It does. So one of the nice things too, it's and you probably notice it's very ergonomic. You know, your arm's sitting on the armrest there. Your loader control's right there. You're not having to reach up to the loader like on most of them.
That's one of the things I mention always on mine, that it's very ergonomic, but this has got a great shaped handle, and my third function's not integrated like this.
Right.
So I'm assuming one of these is third function.
One of those is third function. The other one is where you can switch between what we call A and B mode. So you've got 3 speeds down here. So in each of those gears, you can set the tractor to where your different engine RPM or travel speeds, like I was telling you about. So if you're going, you need to quickly change direction, or like doing loader work, something like that, you can hit that button and quickly change between your speeds and your engine RPMs for whatever you have them set at in those gears. The other one is throttle boost. So, you know, we're talking, if this thing's at idle and you're driving forward, you know, with the pedal, as you start traveling, that's when your engine RPM increases. Well, if you ever need quicker hydraulics, like working with the loader, without speeding the travel speed of the tractor up, you can hit that button. It'll increase your engine RPM to give you faster hydraulics. And it's right there on the loader, because generally that's what you're going to be needing that faster RPM for.
Do you guys have the thing where you can raise and lower this from outside the tractor?
Not on this size. We've got a larger tractor coming to the market next year. Probably going to be starting with a 75 horse. It will have the controls back here.
And we've got telescoping draft arms, telescoping stabilizers, two things I always look for, and then 2 rear remotes, which I think is almost a must, at least for me.
And those are standard.
Standard.
Another nice, I mean, it's a very, very neat feature that's overlooked, but me being from the service background of it, if you look up here, so this is where you put oil in your transmission. Most manufacturers, that's your checkpoint also. Well, that's where all the dirt and everything else collects. So every time you open that, you're introducing contaminants into your transmission, right? So what we did is on this one, if you look over there, there's a sight glass with red oil on the bottom.
Yep.
That's your checkpoint.
So I like that. The way mine's set up, it has a dipstick right here that's also your fill point, but it's really hard to get to. So I almost have to power wash my tractor before taking it off, because I've got all of this above it and it's all covered in dust and dirt.
And so all the Yanmar tractors have a sight glass. It might be in a different spot, but that's where, if you're hooking up any kind of attachments, you're right there, you can go ahead and double check. Because every time you change attachments or you're coupling, uncoupling, hydraulics, you're going to lose a little bit of fluid, right? So if you're back here, that gives you a quick check to be able to know, hey, I need to add or not, but without running the risk of putting any contaminants in your system.
Awesome. I cannot tell you how far a good salesman goes. And this guy's not even a salesman, he is a service representative. Handles a lot of their tractor service, which makes him knowledgeable about the machines. But very impressive demonstration. If I was buying a tractor today, I would be very tempted by the Yanmar. Really like the controls on this compared to the other ones I've demoed. This is how you turn forward and back. Super convenient. This is your joystick for your boom. Very intuitive, ergonomic. Throttle, auxiliary hydraulic ports, 1,000-pound lift capacity. Narrow, but it's got a long track on it. Not very often I say something nice about Kubota, but I think that is a well-designed mini skid loader. Not that I need a mini skid loader, but if I was, that's a well-designed machine. Well, I've been going to a lot of farm shows and equipment expos lately, and I don't know how good my footage was from this show, but it was one of the most fun shows I've been to, because I found some really good, knowledgeable salesmen or product reps that really knew their stuff and were willing to spend 30 minutes talking to me. So I was able to learn a lot about a lot of products, and I think maybe made some friendships. So anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.